What a great day.
Bug, bug. Jarvis was 6th seed. So good luck to both players, and we should see a great match here. We've got 2 bug decks, 2 fair magic decks.
Well, 2 very good players as well.
Yeah,
Michael has impressed me with his play.
And Jarvis's deck does have an unfair win built into it, but we could very well see a very interactive game. Hopefully we will.
So on paper, I think Jarvis is probably favored, just because a lot of the extra cards that Michael has don't help him in this matchup specifically. Like, if you compare the 2 decks, they have the same like core, but where Jarvis is playing the food chain combo pieces, Michael just has like K commands and Snapcaster mages and things that aren't necessarily that great, you know. Jarvis is favorite because 4-color control sucks. Well, the players in this event would beg to disagree. People are too hipster to play miracles. Alright, and we're off. Fetch land into Death Ray Shaman.
Really? Right now?
So I did see a notice that your malware software, I think, was catching this. I think that's what's going on. Explains the issues you've been having with it.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to go into your settings and just like manually whitelist it or whatever.
Well, I don't know if it's catching it or if it's catching there's actual malware in the folder.
That's true. Dueling Death Rights. Man, this is real magic. Welcome to the crew, E-section. Thank you. We're almost at 200 viewers again, so this is awesome.
This is terrific, yeah.
Really glad. Ooh, that's an aggressive. Just turn 2 Kolaghan's Command, shock, and discard. What does Manipulate Fate do? So Manipulate Fate is a 2-mana sorcery.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, we still got it? Still on deck from the previous round. Yeah, so basically this helps enable the food chain combo by searching out its combo piece, in addition to just being a cantrip and a blue card that pitches to force and just an all-around reasonable card to play. Now, shocking and killing that death rate means that Michael has essentially won the mana battle for now. He's way ahead on mana.
Yeah.
And he didn't even like lose resources to do so because he got the 2-for-1 off the Kolaghan's Command, so that's very good.
And here's a Leovold.
Damn,
This could be a pretty useful one.
Wapples. Welcome to the crew. Thank you.
Should be 19 all. And here's Jarvis's Leovold. Just cracking a fetch to go cast.
Delverino. Thank you.
I'll take the...
Just this giant Manipulate Fate covering Jarvis's face. Jarv Dog.
Mike's going to play a Baleful Strix, get some value. Can't draw off of it because Jarvis has a Leovold out.
Just the 1/1 Flying Death Touch.
Yep.
But I guess having the flying creature on this board is pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. Jarvis playing Eternal Scourge. Deck's diverging a little.
So so that face is Andrew McKay. I believe it's some sort of inside joke, but there's a player named Andrew McKay who also is a mortgage salesman, and they're all like part of his team. All right, Jace, very good card. What do you do with it? Bounce Leovold? I think that's
Fate Seal. Oh. Interesting.
I would bounce Leovold and just beat down. I guess Fate Seal keeps it at a range of like 1 hit from this Scourge or Leovold, but
yeah, it means you can block one of the if Jarvis attacks with both, Michael can block one with the Baleful Strix and let the other one through, and Jace still survives. She's not forced to making that choice. And Jarvis plays a Strix of his own. Again, no cantrip because of Leovold. That's true. If you bounce Leovold, he does get to draw 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Abrupt Decay, Baleful Strix, draw for Leovold. Main phase.
Oh, he's just doing the Jace
may be
elevator.
Just going for a Jace finish. I don't know if he'll get there.
I haven't seen this kind of play since the Scars and Mirrodin Standard. There were some people who just didn't believe that Jace had other modes than plus. They would just play it and just plus 5 times. Like,
here's a fetch land. Yeah, he decayed the Strix. He wanted to kill the blocker so that he could level up Jace. That's why he would do that. All the other creatures are on the ground right now.
yeah, also decaying the Strix on his turn seems weird. Wouldn't you want to do it on Jarvis's turn so he doesn't get a free card off it?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. That's a fair point. So Jarvis is gonna decay. No, did he miss his trigger? Oh, yeah, he did. Well, he didn't miss his trigger. He can't draw because there's 2 Leovolds in play.
Well, it's his turn as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he'd already drawn a card for the turn, and there's a Leovold in play, so. So he's going to Ponder here. He doesn't get the draw off the Ponder, but he does get to rearrange the top 3. So it's just a 1-mana, 1-shot Sensei's Divining Top activation.
So I'm glad that I don't play fair decks, because this looks miserable.
Yeah.
Look at how many things you have to worry about.
This is a grind. So Mike's going to Fate Seal himself again. Played a 3rd Deathrite Shaman, which now can block Leovold and only lose 1 Deathrite.
Yeah, on the surface he is winning because he has a Jace, but he's actually very far. Whoa, hey, the Leovold died.
The Leovold's dead, yeah. You got really concerned for a second. You're
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
was
Brainstorm,
like,
what?
Jeez.
Brainstorm being unlocked is really good for Jarvis here. He's going to be able to actually use it, you know, as opposed to just it being a sort of a bad hymn to Torok.
Yep.
On himself. Imagine if Brainstorm said target player draws 3 cards and then puts 2 cards back. And you just had a Leovold out and just brainstormed your opponent. That'd be so much value.
Horrible.
It's like when you used to play Grixis Thieves as the control deck, and you flash in Notion Thief and then plus Dak Faden on your opponent.
I got when I was playing Vintage at Eternal Extravaganza, I got one of my Bazaar of Baghdad activations Notion Thiefed. That felt horrible.
Oh, man.
I didn't realize.
Draw 0, discard 3.
Well, so since I'm the one who's drawing the cards, I could have chosen to dredge first, and then Notion Thief can't replace it. And I'm like, I consider myself a pretty smart rules guy, but I just completely missed that interaction. Just gave my opponent 2 free cards.
And it's relevant in Legacy as well, because you see with Leovold in play, you'll see people with like Life from the Loam in the graveyard, and they won't realize that they can like cycle their lands and dredge Loam in their own turn.
But you're not drawing a card.
Because you're not drawing a card, yeah. Leovold only stops it when you try to choose the mode of draw a card.
Yeah, it just completely skipped my mind, and then I just kicked myself afterwards because I lost that game.
Yeah. Brainstorm again. Why not? I've heard some advice. Brainstorm is a very complicated card to play, very difficult to play correctly. Well, to play optimally. You can play it correctly with relative ease, but playing it optimally is extremely difficult. And
some might say impossible.
Yeah, one of the best advice I've heard is one of the most common pieces of advice I've heard passed out is the best Brainstorm is the one you never cast.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's impossible to resolve optimally, because by casting it, you've already made a mistake.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also it's an instant, and one of the best. It's got so much utility of protecting your hand from discard spells and waiting until you have a fetch land to fetch away dead cards and things like that. So I believe Michael's eating two instants and/or sorceries here. I'm just gonna deal 4 to Jarvis. Jarvis right now is tapped out of mana, so he can't activate his Deathrite in response. So Michael's Deathrites are just free to do whatever they want.
There's so many levels to this.
Yep.
Brainstorm is very bad with Leovold and Pi.
Unfortunately, Baleful Strix is going to put a damper on Mike's Fate Seal plan, but he's very close.
He still gets it next 2 turns anyway. Baleful Strix pings for 1, he goes up 2, so he's not like...
Yeah, so he's... Baleful Strix pings him for 1 here, he goes down to 10. He needs, what, minus 12 is the ultimate?
So I guess 2 more turns.
So, yeah. The Baleful Strix...
Up to 12, down to 11, up to 13, down to...
Presuming 12. Jarvis opts to attack with it, it will take Jace down to 10. Jace will then go up to 12. Jarvis can take it down to 11.
Jarvis has plenty of cards in his hand, too, so maybe, like... He might actually be able to just race a Jace ultimate.
He could.
I'm surprised we haven't seen him cast a Mist Griffin yet.
Well, he's manipulated Fate twice now, so he attacks Mike's life total with Leovold, figuring that Michael will not block. Now, one thing here is what I think I would do here if I'm Michael is I would triple block.
Definitely. With the Brainstorm in hand?
So Jarvis can only kill one of the Deathrite Shamans if he triple blocks, because they've got 6 toughness.
He scooped!
Who scooped?
Jarvis, I think.
Oh, Jarvis scooped?
Yeah.
All right. So Michael Haugh takes game 1 over Jarvis Yu. Let me update the life totals real quick. Get us back ready for game 2.
Yeah, it looks like he just attempted to activate the Deathrite, and Jarvis is like, I'm done with this. I don't want to keep playing this game.
This deck, this Czech Pile deck, man, it's so solid.
So I've been thinking about like putting a fair deck back together just because I'm, even if you're known for playing combo, you should not always play combo. And this is one of the ones I was considering. I got a list from Kevin King that looks really good, so...
Let's see who's going to crew his Stop with Camel on the next first main phase.
Yeah, honestly, Leovold is not... The Czech Pile is not the best Leovold deck, but it is a very good home for Leovold. You would have thought that a bug deck with Death Shaman and Leovold. Czech Pile is basically a blue-black deck that's just splashing. Like, the only green cards are Decay and Leovold, the only red cards are Cake Man and Red Bless.
What I mean by solid is, like, I mean, a lot of Legacy decks are solid, they're playable. They can do
Brainstorm and Forcible in your deck, it's solid already.
But the deck, there's a lot of Brainstorm decks and Force of Will decks and Leovold decks, and out of that, crop of decks, this deck was kind of just a creation pretty much post Leovold printing, and is really recent. It's like 2-3 months old max. It was like, I think the first time I saw somebody playing it was Noah Walker at the GP.
Yep.
And ever since then, it's just been putting up results.
He's kind of the guy who popularized it, I would say. Like,
he spread it to Kevin King.
Thomas Marr is the one who innovated it, and he deserves most of the
credit. Yeah, well, Noah was the first person I saw playing it, but Tomas is the one who invented it, right? So I think he got it from Tomas, and then he spread it to Kevin King. Kevin King top-aided Quest for Power here very shortly before the Star City Open.
He wrote an article on it.
Wrote an article about it, started promoting the deck, and just started picking up a lot of steam recently.
So apparently Jarvis is Snoopy and Joe Cool is some meme reference that I don't get, but the Legacy Reddit Joe Cool Snoopy makes more sense now. I never got the Joe Cool thing, but people were using it to troll Rudy, so it can't be all bad. I'm already like 80% of the way there if that's what it's being used for.
All right.
So we're wrapping up. We're getting close to the end of this tournament. This is the final round. Michael is up 1-0. I will not disagree.
Oh, Rudy. Rudy's a
friend Lord of the Pit. What is the story behind the Joe Cool? If you can share it in the chat, I want to know. I want to be on the inside. I thought it was a good gamery thing because I know Jarvis is really active on that for him.
And here we go. Players going to draw their opening hands here. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest deck of all?
I would say the one that does not have an instant combo. That being said, all right, now Jarvis gets the first death right, so this changes the entire character of this game. It's like a mirror image. This is exactly what happened.
Oh my goodness. Are we going to see fetch for C, fetch for C?
Clergy of Cool sounds
He's
awesome.
passed a few C's here. He might be deciding what he wants. Nope, fetch for Bayou.
Yeah, if we fetch C, it would be a perfect mirror.
Synergy's broken. So I think Deathrite Shaman might be a good card in Legacy.
I'm not convinced. Last game, it didn't even block a Leovold. Only has 1 power. Not as cool as Goblin Lackey. That guy puts in like 10 power. Why can't we have Deathrite in Modern?
Because it's not. It's too good in Modern.
Because it's stupid.
It's stupid good in Modern. That's mean.
That's forcible. Yep.
Yep. So we go to 18 all. Jarvis cracks a fetch to go to 18. Casts Leovold, and Michael forces that back.
So Deathrite's usually the one doing good work in this format. He's propping up the fair deck. God.
And then Michael untaps and casts his own Leovold, and now he's got the Leovold advantage. So if Jarvis has another, no, he's got an Eternal Scourge. Okay.
It's like a Leovold but with no text. It's just a colorless Leovold. Joe Cool is no joke.
So we'll see what Mike's follow is. He's got a Brainstorm here. Since Jarvis did not have a second Leovold, he's free to do this. I see a Kolaghan's Command in there.
Leo Vantage.
Looks like a Jace. Maybe a Baleful Strix, Abrupt Decay, another Leovold. That's another Leovold. So it looks like his brainstorm. He brainstormed into Jace, Leovold, Kolaghan's Command.
So he can't play the Jace this turn because he used one of his mana, but he can.
He could cast
Kolaghan's Command.
He could cast the Leovold.
I guess he could. Yes.
It's probably a suboptimal line. He could K command the Deathrite Shaman, make Jarvis discard.
It's a scam like Scientology or Modern. Modern is just this mythological format.
Go down to fetch down to 17. Get a Valk, so we might be seeing the Kolaghan's Command here.
Yeah, I mean, taking out the Deathrite, putting your opponent back.
Yeah,
that's
get back? Taking a big mana advantage. So, yeah.
Yep, that's probably what we're going to see. Shock this, you discard.
Yep.
How many cards have I drawn? 100.
So, dealing a death blow to Jarvis's mana source and leaving Michael with a Deathrite Shaman and an extra land, which means he's 2 up on mana. Which
so
is
he's
really
got Deathrite
good
advantage, he's got card advantage, he's got life advantage, and he has Leo advantage.
And yet, Jarvis could theoretically just play a land, play a food chain, play a giant walking ballista and kill him.
Yeah.
And we're offering the trade, and Michael is accepting the trade.
Oh, I guess he knows he has the Leovold again next
Yeah,
game.
he does have another Leovold in hand. So Jarvis might
So it's not as impressive as I thought it was.
And that's a pretty big signal to Jarvis that he has another in hand. Like, why would you offer that trade? Why would you accept that trade?
Yeah, that is a good point. So Modern is like 50 different decks that all play very similarly. You just execute your game plan and ignore the opponent. Legacy, these decks share about 45 of the 60 cards, and they're playing very differently.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you want? Do you want to see different cards in different colors, or do you want to see the same cards played differently?
Yeah, it's big picture, there are some definitely similarities in how these Brainstorm decks play. I mean, Brainstorm is Brainstorm, Force of Will is Force of Will, Deathrite is Deathrite.
But the way they interact with the game is just
what
so
they
different.
do after that, like the framework, the groundwork is all very similar, but what they do with that setup is very different, and you have to attack them from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
How you would board against Michael is very different from how you would board against Jarvis.
Very true. And like we saw Michael Abrupt Decay that Baleful Strix last game. I don't think Jarvis would ever decay a Baleful Strix with this deck. He just does not care.
So, yeah, Mike's going to flashback. He's going to snap back Kolaghan's Command, frag Jarvis's Charles Agent and buy back his dead Leovold. So pretty good play here. Jarvis is going to Abrupt Decay Deathrite Shaman. Just to buy himself some time, I think, against a clock. Looks like Michael just drew a click. So lead with Leovold so the click doesn't
wow.
Draw him a card.
Where's my brother, man? He loves K-Command Snapcaster. He's trying to play it in Modern, and I'm like, that's bad. Just play it in Legacy.
He's going to play Jace instead. And I think that's fine. I think he's going to Brainstorm here. Yep. Oh, so good. That's Push, Decay, Fetch. Oh, the value.
Are we comfortable crowning Michael the victor?
Oh, man. He's very far ahead right now. Well, not very far. He's somewhat far ahead. Again, Jarvis has a deck that can just win out of nowhere.
3 raw cards plus, you know, he has Leovold that he just bought back, which is important.
Yeah.
Then again, like we said before, Jarvis can always just untap and win the game, so.
Strix draws...
Food Chain, I think.
Yep, that's a Food Chain. This is where, like, the Food Chain decks used to play Delve creatures, and they would delve their Scourges and their Mist Hologriffins so that they'd be able to cast them again. This is where something like that would be really beneficial to Jarvis. He could just, like, cast a Gurmag Angler. I don't even care about the 5/5. Just, like, exile my Eternal Scourge so I can Food Chain off.
They do have a point. Before he cracked this fetch, he did not have Leovold mana because there's 2 Volcanics biting him in the ass. One of those was a Badlands, he'd be fine.
Oh, yeah.
The one he cast previously, I think, was off Deathrite, so we'll just hope that that one was correct. Yeah, I'm building this deck. Screw it. It looks sweet.
I think I have all the duels.
Yeah.
Just from building Grixis Delver and then Noble Bug, I have all the duels.
I build blue lands and the Epic Storm. That's where all my duels are right now. Brainstorm again. Why not? Let's draw 100 cards.
Plays a fetch.
Yeah. Oh, he's a Leovold. Can you beat that? I don't think so.
Did he play a land this turn already?
No, he had the fetch and play from last turn.
Oh, okay.
He cracked it.
So he's gonna... Jarvis is gonna remind him that he needs to tap properly for his Leovold. Just a brain fart there.
Yep. He even fetched the sea specifically to do that. I assume this is an upkeep or draw step click?
Yes, this is gonna be a draw step click. And no reason to not take something because Jarvis cannot draw a second card. Oh, he's got 2 Walking Blisses and a Food Chain and a Mist Hologriffin. So if he had 4th mana, he would. I mean,
win.
He could. Well, no, he wouldn't win because he has to play the Food Chain and play the Mist Hologriffin.
Well, you can Food Chain into Scourge, right? Isn't the Scourge in exile?
No, the Scourge is in grave.
No, I think
he's got lands in exile.
Right, isn't that it? No, there's a lands. Yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't need. Yeah, so bottom to Ballista, I believe. So here's a Deathrite Shaman.
That click Leovold interaction. Ugh.
That's really good.
When is our next stream going to be? Next Thursday?
Our next stream should probably be next Thursday. Yeah, that's what I would anticipate. We should be hopefully establishing a regular streaming schedule of every Thursday from this very same store.
Awesome. Yeah, as far as not having all the duels, I definitely want a 40 set, but it's just not feasible for me right now. I'm trying to get 3 of each of the blues, and just like 2 of each of the rest. I only had the ones for the decks I played. I mean, my deck is High Tide, so I certainly didn't have any duels for that. Like, push your Strix.
No flying blockers now, but Jarvis can shoot the click with the Ballista, and I believe that was always his plan.
Yep, the card with the die on it is Walking Ballista.
The trick is he's going to Michael's going to draw a card if Jarvis chooses that line. But I don't know how much. I don't know how much he wants to take 8, but he's gonna.
Hey man, I don't appreciate that. I like time spiraling. It's my right as an American. Yeah, this is really hard to watch. Poor Jarvis.
Jarvis plays Leovold, passes the turn.
All right, Leovold parity has been achieved. I'm gonna brainstorm a response before I.
Yeah, brainstorm in response to Leovold.
Oh, Snapcaster Mage. Oh.
Snap, fetch. Yeah, snap, tarn.
Oh god, what he could have done is bounce Snapcaster, snap push with Revolt. This deck is sick. I'm building it. Who cares? Best deck in the format.
Yep. This deck is disgusting.
No, he's just going to play it as Ambush Viper?
He can push the Ballista.
Well, he was tapped out there, but yeah. Nope.
It was lethal. By putting the extra power on the table, it was lethal. So that's going to do it. Michael Haugh 2-0 over Jarvis Yu.
Very, very, very
Czech
well
Pile.
done for him. I watched his play. He seemed to play pretty tight, which is not easy to do with this deck. You have a lot of decision points. It's a very wide open control deck.
Yep.
And he beat some truly world-class players to get where he is.
Indeed, he did.
And now he's what, $500 richer?
300. I don't know. I have to check the prize payout. But yeah, he's definitely profiting today. There were no prize splits, so he's just going to take the prize, the first place prize. So I'm going to go see if we can convince him to do an interview. If you guys want to hear that,
Definitely would be sweet.
Talk about his experiences today. Talk about the deck and how apparently awesome it is.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah,
first place is 300 store credit, so he's got 300 store credit. That's a 10-to-1 payout.
Yeah, so this is a 1K event. It's the basics version with like a island and a swamp. The prize payout I think was like 300, 150, 75, 75, and then like 50 each for 5th through 8th. Awesome. I'm really glad we got to watch the finals and bring that to you because, at local events, people usually like to split. However, Jarvis never splits, as is his prerogative. Cool. Joe cool. Awesome. Yeah, that deck looks really, really cool. I think maybe we can get him in here for a deck tech. He's packing this stuff up now. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to everybody else in the top 8. We had a really diverse top 8, a lot of really good players. C Stompy made top 8, unironically. Colors Eldrazi and White Eldrazi. Many different Leovold-esque decks. So a lot of cool stuff. Hey, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we got Michael Haugh, the winner of our tournament, has just come in. He's going to sit down and... Congratulations, bud. Well played.
Thank you.
We watched you do it. It was awesome. So, how did you like the deck? Obviously, well.
Yeah, some of the things that I think have been interesting. Last minute, when seeing the room, decided not to main deck a Pyroblast. Kept in a Spell Pierce. The Pierce wasn't better even against the blue decks.
Yeah.
Because enough of them weren't. The other thing that I thought was really helpful on the mana base was having... Because it made me a lot more flexible.
So our player did have at least a basic swamp. Do you have a basic island as well?
There's a basic island.
Yeah, it's
there
one
was also
island,
a
one swamp. So yeah, somebody in the chat was mentioning that. He was also playing the one Bayou.
And one Badlands.
Nice.
Just to have as much flexibility as I could.
So when you, for example, in that game, you really needed the Bayou to cast your Leovold. So that was pretty sweet. So you have one Badlands, one Bayou, 2 Trops, 3 Seas, 2 Volks?
It's 1 Trop, 3C, 2 Volk. I'm pretty sure that's going to change. Either Fetch for Trop or Volk for Trop.
Just to get an extra actual colored source.
Yeah, I did end up off of green several times.
He does have counterspells in the deck alongside the non-blue duels. Was that ever a problem for you today or no?
That was less so, just because I can choose not to get these most of the time.
But like you said, flexibility.
And all the fetches are blue. Mostly C, of course, because we have the swamp.
And that's just the most important color for the deck.
Yeah, I've seen people who've messed with the Bloodstained Mire to try to get the swamp, but wasn't huge.
So what were your matchups over the course of the day? We watched you beat Food Chain in the finals.
Yeah.
What was your semifinal matchup?
Semifinal was White Eldrazi.
White Eldrazi, yep, which you beat pretty handily as well. That was close, but
yeah, that was a little
there was a heads-up play where you blocked a Thought-Knot Seer with the Snapcaster Mage, and then Kolaghan's commanded to shock and shatter a Revoker instead of pushing. It was very smart.
Yeah, that was probably what saved game 2. I think any other block there just loses, and then Snapcaster Edict, because the Snapcasters are just absurd.
Yeah. So this is just like the Snapcaster deck in Legacy, right? Like
the idea was
you're abusing it far beyond what any other deck is doing.
And Kolaghan's Command with Snapcaster.
Can I take a look at your sideboard before you pack
yeah.
it up?
So, I played Death and Taxes twice, have Dread of Night in the sideboard. Both games went to 3 matches, never saw it once.
Alright, so yeah, it looks like we have a couple Pyroblasts here, just for the people in the chat. A couple Pyroblasts, 2 Pyroblasts, a Hydroblast, 2 Vendilion Clicks, 2 Surgical Extractions, a Fairy Macabre, a Toxic Deluge, a Diabolic Edict, a Dread of Night, a Leovold. I assume you have 2 main one side?
2 main one side, yeah.
Yeah, and then an Umasawa Jite, a Pithing Needle, and an Abrupt Decay. Yeah. So, looks like pretty much you're just ready to take on all comers. Did you feel like your combo matchup was great?
Well, so the one I faced was Sneak and Show.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pyroblast, Hydroblast are great there.
Yes.
The
lack of something like a Flusterstorm or Mindbreak Trap makes you weaker to Storm, but there's pretty much no Storm anymore. It's been pushed out.
Yeah, and Leovold scares Storm players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to have Flusterstorm if they're
they're
afraid
not
to
combo into
like they're afraid to combo into a draw 20.
Yeah. Leovold is insanely powerful, that card.
Yeah. Didn't really use the Surgicals or the Fairy Macabre. Fairy Macabre is pure for Reanimator.
Yeah, just the...
That one, I need something that can beat Chancellor.
Mm-hmm. The Surgicals have double duty because they can take on lands as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They never showed up against lands because I did beat him.
So you played against lands, Food Chain, White Eldrazi. What was your top 8 match?
Top 8s were Alurin, then
White Eldrazi,
and then Food Chain.
Cool.
Yeah.
So a pretty wide range of decks, I would say.
Yeah, and
a couple combo decks, a couple mid-range decks.
Yeah, 1 Shardless, 1 lands.
Yeah. So
one of the things
this
we were talking about was that there were basically no Miracles decks in the room. Did you notice any? While you were
I don't think there were any.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone mentioning it, and
that being said, you should be. Yeah, Miracles anyway.
One of your favorite matchups.
It is because I can bring in the Pyroblast, which are, and the Hydroblast is also huge against them.
Mm-hmm.
Leovold's a problem. Snapcaster's a problem. If they Terminus Baleful Strix, it's not a big deal.
You're just gonna draw it again later.
And I have 2 Jace, 1 Lily. I feel like Lily is a huge problem for their deck.
Very true. Mm-hmm.
Jace is obviously also absurd, but
Jace is more manageable just because it gets blasted, I think.
Planeswalkers are very difficult for them to deal with. Jace can be Pyroblasted, but yeah, if that's their only... They have Council's Judgment. That's the only thing.
Specifically, non-blue walkers are just like, they have 1 out in the entire 75. So, yeah, I mean,
yes, there are 2 counter spells in the deck.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some risk of color screw, but I've felt that having the ability to play the Leovolds to play the K commands really
it's only
won out.
3 lands in your whole deck don't cast counterspell, right? Swamp,
correct.
Bayou, Badlands.
And so it's basically instead of playing Wasteland
or something, yeah.
I'm playing the 4th color.
Very true.
With a little more.
This is something I've talked about for a while. Is like these Deathrite decks are just so flexible. They can play whatever the hell they want, really.
Yeah.
We saw years ago, Ligier innovated Shardless Bug by playing White Lands and Meddling Mage on the board, and then you sat there and thought, and you're like, what's stopping me from playing any card I want because the mana's so good? Yeah.
Yeah. And well, considering I played against 3 very different Deathrite decks because it
enables so many strategies.
Old school Shardless with Tarmogoyfs, where the 3 pushes were just huge.
Amazing.
And Alurin and Food Chain.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest advantage of this deck is that in the grindy bug matchups, you pull ahead. And it's almost entirely in the back of Kolaghan's Command. Like, that card is just
that card was absolutely absurd all day.
Like, you're better at playing Fair Magic than the other bug decks because they're built to have that infinite combo in there. So as long as you can keep them off of that, then you're just a better deck.
Mm-hmm.
And there's enough interaction that I'm not... Like, a combo heavy meta is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
some combo in a meta like this, you're fine.
Yeah, that means I'm probably really 45-55 against Sneak and Show. If that's one of my worst matchups, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. How's the deck against Infect or Merfolk? Somebody wants to know.
I have no idea. I do think that
those aren't decks you play against very often.
Yeah, especially now because I think Fatal Push is a big problem for Infect. Especially because when I was on last year, I was usually on Shardless, and Ink Moth was a giant problem because I couldn't kill it. I had Abrupt Decay. Now I have Fatal Push that kills it every time.
Very true. And they can't even like dodge it with regular pump like they can with bolt. Like you can invigorate out of bolt range. But you know, you need
Fatal Push has to be Vines or Blossoming Defense.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then
yeah, they have it. Yep. Force Strix is also insane.
Yeah. But also, like, almost nobody plays Infect. Just in general, but even the players who are normally, like, Infect players are all on different
a lot of them have moved off of it. Yeah.
JD, man. Rest in peace.
Same problem.
He's gone to the great Nebraska in the sky.
But...
yeah, Push is very good. I imagine your favorite against most of the creature decks, Death and Taxes. Do you like that matchup?
That one's close.
They punish your mana base pretty hard.
Yeah, they do. I mean, faced it twice. 1-1, lost 1. All of them were pretty close.
So it could go either way. Yep.
It could, but the Dread of Night, I've refused to play a black deck without at least one Dread of Night in the sideboard. Just because and it comes in against... I don't know if it comes in against Miracles anymore. A lot of them have moved off of Mentor.
Plus, especially in this deck, like, you have answers to the Mentor itself. You just don't, like, push and decay, but you don't have answers to entreat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like push, snap, push.
Yeah, what are your answers to entreat? Just counter it, I guess? And the one deluge on the board?
Yeah, and hope it's not for enough.
To kill you anyway, yeah.
Yeah. That's...
How did you like Click with Leovold in play?
I only did that once, and that was to Jarvis in the finals, where
he deserved it.
that was it really hadn't come up. The clicks were overperforming though.
Yep. I assume it's good against decks like lands, combo decks.
Yeah. So. Against lands it was huge because I stripped his Punishing Fire.
Ooh.
With a Grove out.
Very cool.
Yeah, he went to port one of my lands and tap out. It's like, I'm clicking you in response using this as my third mana.
Yep.
So, yeah, that one I did have a bad punt, and then he missed a messy line because I totally missed a Tabernacle.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, that was the match against Dave Long, right?
Yeah.
He said you missed your Tabernacle triggers, but...
I missed it the once, lost 2 guys.
But then you played Pithing Needle naming Grove, and he...
Yeah.
Had a stage that was copying a Grove, and when it resolved, didn't respond.
Yeah, he had a tapped stage naming Grove, so he couldn't interact with.
Okay.
What he missed was the ability to blow up the stage and then loam it back.
Yeah.
Because that would have just worked.
Yeah, it saves it. That's very interesting.
And
there's a lot of play in that matchup.
Yeah. And if he had done that, if I hadn't punted, then it wouldn't have mattered. I'd have killed him in time. If he had done that, then he would have won in time against my Jace Ultimate.
So obviously this deck did well for you today. Do you think it's a good choice for you going forward? Are you going to stick with it?
That's the plan, unless Harsh Mentor shows up all over the place.
Oh, man.
Because that is going to make Deathrite a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. For one thing, I don't know how much that's going to show up.
I don't foresee it being huge, at least
the other thing is...
It's already a bad...
I can still kill it.
If it just shows up in burn, it's already a terrible matchup for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be burned.
Yeah, so Harsh Mentor making the matchup worse. You're like, whatever.
This deck does not win quickly enough to ever beat burn.
And you're just like extremely vulnerable to Price of
Progress. Progress is actually just a 20 damage burn for 2.
Yeah. So, if that's all it's showing up in, then... Because I don't think there's much else in Amonkhet that is going to do much.
I mean, Harsh Mentor could see play in decks like Grixis. I mean...
I'm thinking
maybe Blue-Red Delver.
I'm thinking about brewing with it. Like, I have a burn deck, but I'm thinking of actually brewing with it, because I think, like I mentioned earlier in the cover,
but
like, it's good in a deck that's weak to Wasteland, because it diminishes the impact of Wasteland and Port and Ghost Quarter.
And the other option's Blue-Red Delver.
Right, that's the first thing that came to mind.
And that's what some of my friends were talking about doing, because one of them loves it. So, Blue-Red Delver could be tough.
Yeah.
But, the other problem I have is it's draining. This is
you played a lot of Magic today.
All the time. This was 8 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other potential limit for, say, taking it to GP Vegas.
Just playing every round, 50 minutes each.
Yeah.
Very mentally taxing. All right, well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You did really, really well. Thanks for coming in the booth and giving us your thoughts. So
Yeah.
take your store credit and
Yep.
sleep easy tonight.
Fourth seat.
Yeah, feels good.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy, man. All right, guys. Well, that was Michael in the booth. He was just explaining his deck that he just won with. So 4-color Czech Pile took down the whole tournament. 30 players for 1K in store credit here at MTGFirst. So.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for us here today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you guys for watching, giving us your eyes eyes and ears for at least today.
You really made this awesome. You know, having over 200 viewers is super awesome for just a random Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely, you know, follow, subscribe if you can. Skyship Gaming. Jameson's going to be trying to bring this out every Thursday, right?
Every Thursday, and then big events on the weekends as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Yep. Thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it.